Corvo's unconscious again. Though he's taken more punishment than the 2 men we brought in for interrogation. When he wakes, we'll start again. Having him sign the confession for her murder isn't critical, but it might be useful to us later. The assassination of an empress is not a trivial matter. The Academy teaches that absurd idea that the energy in whale oil arises from the need to maintain life functions at extreme ocean depths. The pressure and the cold are too much to endure without it. I speculate that a human being might, by a process of adaptation, produce high-energy humors in the body. I could build a tank that would slowly increase pressure on a subject over a long period of time and then observe them for years if need be to see if the formulation of energetic substance is developed. Surely the Empress would be able to furnish me with facilities, subject and the necessary legal amnesty.
City Watch.
Log entry 1-4. It seems we have moved to a new phase. Martin's improvisations have borne fruit. The former bodyguard has been freed and is en route to the staging location. Pendleton's voting block and my military connections. All we've lacked is the ability to project lethal force in a controlled manner against a previously inaccessible... to the point, we need a man who can kill the bastards for us. Corvo is more than capable of that, I have no doubt. N-Ball. Is this off? Switch. Switch, where the hell is
Measure.
My furnishings have been installed at last with no small amount of complaining by that antiquated boatman. The others have no idea what it's like to suffer as I have. Speaking of which... Wallace! Please breathe 2 bottles of Dunwall Red, never mind which, and fetch a clean glass. Well, I'll begin again tomorrow. Lord Pendleton Memoirs, Chapter 27. In my 13th year, the despised stepmother at last departed, and Pendleton Hall was again quiet, although Father had by then sunk into deep depression. It was at this sensitive time that Waverly Boyle first entered my life. She who will be the source of many tender recollections to come.
Elementary sums. History of the Isles. Geography of the Isles. The 7 strictures. Litany of the White Cliff. Sayings of the Overseer. One day we'll get a few new books.
Does part of the soul live in the heart? If the heart keeps beating, does that mean that the spirit is never released into oblivion? I can keep a heart beating forever with electricity, but what does that mean for any essence trapped within? It'd be easier if I created these processes in waking hours. I am uneasy pursuing avenues that emanate from my dreaming mind.
Corvo seems to have arrived in good shape. Much better than I expected, given what I've seen of Coleridge Prison. He seems willing to work with us, and he shouldn't lack for motivation. The man has lost everything. We'll judge how he performs in the field, and if I can, I'll find a way to test him personally. Obviously, the plague rat is distinct from the ordinary rat, but in what respect? Its size and the coarseness of its fur, and I believe in intelligence, although the experiments there are not complete. Coriander's zoological survey describes only the ordinary rat, which means plague rats have only been here for 5 or 7 years at most. This was not a gradual migration. Could they have been introduced on purpose? Perhaps by a foreign power.
Curse those fools at Coldridge for letting Corvo get away. Who knows what the man could do now? Hiram, or the Lord Regent, as he asks us to call him now, seems to have faith in all the Sokolov security devices he's put up all over the city, but I'm not so sure. At least the girl has been moved to a safe place. Visiting her twice a week has given me ample opportunity to inspect the facilities, as they say. So there's an upside, at least.
What we have is a man, aged 30 perhaps, slender, unusual tattooing on the face and chest, probably superstitious heresy, wearing some sort of industrial mask when we brought him in, stolen out of one of the whaling factories from the look of it. You're one of Dowd's men, aren't you? Caught at last? Give us a name at least. What's wrong with his eyes? Opium? Laudanum? Are you with us? What's he doing? Some kind of fit? He's gone. Here it is, a pin, hidden in one of his gloves. Subject has administered some kind of poison. The effects seem to have been lethal. We cannot doubt the effectiveness of Holger's device, or the mathematical beauty of the music itself. We've seen it in action against the forbidden practices too many times to deny it. But the question no one wishes to ask is the incantation itself black magic? The boxes are priceless, but what's inside?
Inspiration is coming faster. My mind works faster at night than it does during the day. I'm being swept away, and I can no longer tell if it's genius or madness. When Corvo arrived, he brought some force from the void with him. Or perhaps I'm more brilliant than I even supposed.
Memoir, Chapter 28. Waverly, Waverly, Waverly. The very name sweeps one away. She came into our cold marble hall and brought light and warmth. She changed our lives forever. It was only later I realized she was a traitorous little weasel, like all the Boyles.
Corvo's proved his abilities beyond question. It's not anyone who can walk into Holger Square and put down the High Overseer. And now we're faced with the question, could he be dangerous? Events are going to move quickly now. The storm's rising.
Remember Miriam's wedding, Uncle? Even the cousins were there, in from the farms. Yours was the only house big enough for all of us. The baker used 2 carts to bring in all the bread and sweets. 2 carts, full to the brim. I blamed Bradley for stealing the icing balloons on the top of the cake, but you were right, of course it was me. How did you know? But didn't we look fine? So many of us then. And remember when the streamers caught fire? They burned so fast. We all ran screaming, but not you, Uncle. Remember? You found each little fire and put them out one by one. I thought you were the bravest man alive. We all did. Uncle Colonel.
Chapter 32. As yet I have said little of my brothers Morgan and Custis. Twins they are, 4 years senior to me. Morgan is the larger of the 2 brutes by a slight bit. From earliest memory they abused me in every way. I'm not the first to claim their elder siblings were cruel, but my suffering was unique, I promise you. At the tender age of 5, they tied me to the crib and set inside it assorted vipers they had collected over several weeks. My howls and my breathing were muffled by a blanket, and so it was hours before the nurse found me, barely alive. I had kicked a few serpents to a pulp and others had slithered away, but not before I'd been bitten a dozen times or more on my legs, arms, and face. The wounds kept me convalescing for months while those 2 got away with barely a tongue lashing. Wallace! Bring me wine. Tomorrow I will regale you with the special gift they gave me on my 10th birthday.
I'm getting a frequency reverberation that confounds some of my experiments. I suspect there are some kind of empty chambers beneath this building, and a district this old anything is possible.
Hello. My name is Samuel. This machine was tossed into the river by the Admiral, but I fetched it. And it appears to be working. Let's see if it is. Test. Test. There we go.
What's this? Information from my missing guy. Let's have a listen.
Slackjaw. It's me, Crowley. I'm making this in case I don't make it back. He was right. There is someone wants you dead. Wants to take over the distillery and the whole Bottle Street gang. And you'll never believe who it is, neither. At first I did. That's why it's taken me so long. I wanted to be sure. What's that? Behind it! No! No! Ah!
Sokolov here. Excellent progress today. Test subject 312 is declining rapidly. As I theorized, formulas 12 and 17, administered in combination, greatly accelerated the progression of the disease. Interestingly, the respiratory mucosa has erupted and raised pustules, grayish in color, which burst, causing hemorrhaging and pain. I now turn my hopes and energies to Formula 25, which, in conjunction with a high heat therapy, which came to me most vividly in a dream last night, has great potential, according to the latest celestial alignment. As for test subject 312, after the characteristic sloughing of the skin, she should be dead by mid-morning tomorrow.
Logic is flawed, anyone can see that. And not an original idea to be heard. His notes are a mess if he even keeps them. How he got this far is anyone's guess. He says what they want to hear. Friend of the rich, that's his method. Sokolov's true genius is pampering the aristocracy. Fools.
There's hardly a need to work on table etiquette. She knows it all, even if she chooses not to employ it. She'd rather hold her spoon by the wrong end and pretend it's a sword. Then suddenly she changes and she's all manners, asking for a tea party. I tried to oblige her, but I have little to work with. No proper plates. Instead of a cloth napkin, I've only the bar rag. Ale mugs instead of teacups. I've asked for things befitting her, but they have their minds on other things. For now, Emily and I decided to make a pretend dinner using paper and little things she's found here and there. On the floor, I suppose. Not right for a princess, but it'll have to do.
Lord Pendleton Memoirs, Chapter 41, in which I bed two of the Boyle women and only missed the third by virtue of some inclement weather. It was the month of rain, and to counter the gloom, the Boyle ladies hosted 3 nights of merriment by invitation only. Lydia was most fetching in lavender pants and a tunic of yellow silk. She was pleased with me from the moment I walked in the door, with my manservant bringing not 1 but 2 cases of effervescent wine from the south. In fact, I had come laden with gifts, such that all 3 Boyle women soon took notice, and they set out to make me more than welcome. We uncorked the wine right away, and as night fell, we... Wallace! Found these interruptions.
We're getting closer to reaching our goal, but our position is becoming more dangerous. You don't house and feed a half-dozen people without leaving telltale traces. Riverboats pass day and night, and the looters are going to start gathering once they're sure the plague has burned the place out. I conclude, if our enemies are not dead by the month of wind, we will be. There's a sadness in Emily, but she's strong, weathering the death of her mother just a half a year ago better than most grown men I've known. Once we take Dunwall Tower, I'll see that her life is better. I've always thought that I'd command the Navy in her name. Sometimes I wonder if I shouldn't just take the title Lord Regent and do it properly.
What will I say when Sokolov has passed at his funeral? Like this, perhaps. Sokolov is dead. Gone forever. We were rivals at the Academy, yes. He was jealous of my agile brain and youthful energies. But he's dead now. And what can I say about him? Sokolov, he did improve on some inventions. He did well for himself in his way. He had many admirers among the aristocracy, especially those who lack a solid background in matters of natural philosophy. He was a painter of portraits. They say his work was genius. That remains to be seen. Time will tell.
Dear Uncle, it's been a while since I've heard from you. And with the way things are going, I can't be sure we'll see each other again. I just wanted to tell you I'm doing well, and I'm safe. For now. My job, caring for a young girl, is better than I expected. Though she can be very trying. But I'm treated well. There is enough to eat. I fare better than most, I suppose. We are the last of our family, Uncle Kurnow. We just have to go on living, if we can. May we see each other soon. Your niece, Callista.
I'm taking part in history here. Dunwall is on the verge of a new age, a better age. And this old sailor has had a role to play in it. I doubt I'll be remembered, as the worthy men who made this happen are truly the heroes. And one feisty little girl who hides the sadness of missing her mother very well, bless her. But perhaps someday someone will listen to this and know that a humble sailor named Samuel was a part of it all. Screams carry very well over the river. Can be heard for half a league out sometimes. Seems like every shore I pilot away from, them screams come out on the water behind me. I carry death wherever I go, it seems.
The copper wiring is making all the difference. Increasing the output by almost 50%, yet the whale oil still has too many impurities. I need to find a way to filter it myself if that idiot can't provide a better grade. Even the Academy doesn't have anything that will refine it to the specifications I require. Something new then. Perhaps using charcoal or a multiple chamber device. I feel confident that the answer will come to me tonight as I slumber.
Yes, I tell her you will still need to study. And as Empress, you'll have proper tutors, one for each subject. And many personal servants. She asks if she'll have spies. Yes, I tell her. I suppose you will. And advisors. So many advisors your head will spin. She wants a cake maker. Well, I tell her you'll have a whole kitchen staff with an army of chefs. And of course she asks if she can have cake every day. And I say if that is your wish, my young Empress, which always makes her giggle. Sometimes she gets so sad, remembering these things. They remind her of her poor mother. It's been 6 months, and Emily is resilient, but sometimes I can hear her crying when she thinks I'm asleep.
Hello, I am Callista, and I am Emily's teacher, and this is my lesson plan. Boring sums, boring history, boring geography, boring 7 structures. Ugh, why can't we study sword fighting, and sailing, and monsters?
That is not the vintage I asked for, you half-wit ox. No matter, just set it down. Take both bottles and get out. I'm trying to write my memoirs.
If I explain, then you will see I am not at fault. My poverty eradication plan was meant to bring prosperity to the city, to rid us of those scoundrels who waste their days in filth and drink, without homes or occupations other than to beg for the coin for which the rest of us toil. And it was a simple plan. Bring the disease-bearing rats from the Pandician continent Let them take care of the poor for us. The plan worked perfectly at first. But the rats, it was as if they sought to undo me. They hid from the catchers and bred at sickening rate. Soon it didn't matter. Rich, poor, all were falling sick. And then people began to ask questions. The Empress assigned me to investigate whether the rats had been imported by a foreign power. I knew the truth would come out eventually, so there was no other way than to be rid of her and take power myself. She had to die, you see. She had to die. Bringing about the death of an empress is not an easy thing. But it gave me the chance to attack the plague with some real authority. Quarantines, deportation of the sick. But there's always some idiot woman searching for her wretched lost babe, or some sniveling workman searching for his missing wife. And then quarantine is broken. But you can see how my plan should have worked. Would have worked. If everyone had just followed orders.
Emily, my daughter, I know that one day you'll be grown up, and I wonder what you'll remember of these years. Will you recall your time as a child with fondness? Were there too many caretakers, formal dinners, and lessons about boring old history? Maybe the precious hours we spent together will shine brighter. Time captured now and then with your mother and with Corvo, who was always close to my heart. I hope the season of rats and plague will be nothing more than a passing shadow on your early memories. A crisis come and past, weathered by your mother and her advisors. You'll sit on the throne someday, and will do well, I hope. It's a tricky life, full of responsibility and peril. It was not your choice to be the daughter of an empress, but I believe you'll rise to the challenge. Stay good-hearted, Emily. Keep drawing and telling stories, and only share your power those you truly trust.
It won't be long now, barring some unfortunate turn of events or betrayal. I will soon have a very astonishing title. Royal Physician. No, it's too much like Sokolov. Maybe it's time for a change, a reimagining, something that will shape the Academy of Natural Philosophy to its stones. Royal Alchemist. Physicist. Royal Astrological Metaphysician. Lord Regent is dead. Now we will see. Now it will all become clear. Have I placed my trust in the right people? Will I get what was promised me? I feel pins and needles in my hands. I need rest. I hardly know when I wake or when I dream.
This is the story of the fancy-dressed lady and the naked man. Once upon a time, there was a fancy-dressed lady, and she came to the madam and said that the naked man wanted something, and she was mad about it. And then the naked man came in, and he said it was just what he always gets. And the madam said, if that's what he wants, it'll be 10 coin each time. And that it was Beatrice he'd be wanting to visit. And the fancy-dressed lady said, see? And then she left. And then the naked man said Beatrice would do. And the madam said, 10 coin, Custis. And the naked man said, Lord Pendleton. The end.
This was never my idea. He knows that. Certainly I am not completely guiltless, but with my position, he would be a fool to come for me. And if he does, I have much to offer. Extensive business opportunities. So he'll see reason, if it comes to that.
So you've lost it all. Ruined at last. Lord Regent, Royal Spy Master, Hiram Burroughs. You small, worried man. You'll never know how many times I've thought about trying to get close to you again. Just to put a piece of sharp metal in your eye. But now there's no need. You've been taken down by the same apparatus that gave you life to begin with. Laws and courtrooms and the mighty swell of public outrage. Good riddance to you, sir. So many schemes you had, and so many contracts. How many people did I kill for you? None like the last. None like her. I'd give back all the coin if I could. No one should have to kill an empress. So he's dead. Farewell, Lord Regent. Royal Spy Master, Hiram Burroughs. You small, worried man. You'll never know how many times I've thought about trying to get close to you again. Just to put a piece of sharp metal in your eye. But someone beat me to it. Someone very dangerous, it seems. Good riddance to you, sir. So many schemes you had, and so many contracts. How many people did I kill for you? None like the last. None like her. I'd give back all the coin if I could. No one should have to kill an empress.
Uncle Kurnow, I hope you find this. I'm devastated. The girl I've been caring for is gone. Emily is her name. Yes, that Emily. Daughter to the Empress. She's gone. They took her away in a boat this morning. I don't know where, and her hair hadn't been combed. I worry who will look after her. I didn't even get a chance to say goodbye. I don't know if anyone will hear this. The others took Emily away in a boat. I don't know where, and her hair hadn't been combed yet. I worry who will look after her. I didn't even get a chance to say goodbye.
Not liking the look of this one bit. That party died down inside awful fast, and now they called all the staff together. They said one more package for me to deliver, but I think I'll be keeping station at a safe distance from the riverbank and keep an eye on things for a while.
At last. Time to leave this hovel for some place befitting my station. Now, all the good families of the Empire will look up to Pendleton. Wallace, before your meeting with Havelock downstairs, I want you to haul this to the boat for me. I'll be recording the most important chapters in the next few days.
Well, I knew it was too good to be true. Seems the conspiracy tried to use old Piero for their own gain and discard him. But they have erred and delivered to me an ally almost as brilliant as myself. Old Sokolov and I will hold up here until we can blast the ruffians outside and make for the Academy. just a nest of worms. All is falling to ruin, and even the great Pierrot's days are numbered as hounds scratch at his door. If only I had enough whale oil in here to set off a pyre equal to my brilliance.
Done such things, cowardly things that I'm ashamed of. How could anyone ever forgive us? Would they, even if things are better? No, that's not how it works. Once the bureaucrats step in, everything gets muddy. If anyone ever knew, we'd all lose our heads for this, so no one can know. And could we ever control Emily with Corvo around? That's the question that sticks in my mind. We need to make our final move. We need to make it cleanly. No loose ends. Only a few in the know. The ones with the most to lose. We've done such things, cowardly things that I'm ashamed of. How could anyone ever forgive us? Would they, even if things are better? No, that's not how it works. Once the bureaucrats step in, everything gets muddy. If anyone ever knew, we'd all lose our heads for this, so no one can know. And could we ever control Emily with Corvo around? That's the question that sticks in my mind. We need to make our final move, and we need to make it cleanly. No loose ends. Only a few in the know. The ones with the most to lose.